Hello, good evening. We're a minute late, but there we are. What do they say? Better late than never. That's the one, isn't it? Right, something a bit different tonight. Christmas themed, and it's to do with the scroll saw. Now what I've actually done, I've prepared some notes, something that I don't usually do. So what we're demonstrating for you, I got one here, I got another one here. We're going to demonstrate scroll sawing some Christmas decorations. So there's going to be a few little technical things we're going to have to do, because I'm going to have to turn the mic down a little bit because I don't want to deafen you all with the sound of the saw. These are a few designs then that we've got. I'll demonstrate marking out some of these different ones. So I'm going to mark out just that sort of stocking that almost looks like a boot, and then we've got this candle one here. Thomas the Woodcarver's just showing me a different design that we could do. But before we started, because it's going to be more difficult to sort of talk during this live stream whilst we're doing the scroll sawing, I thought I'd do a little bit of an explanation for everybody for how you can make these yourself. So basically, the process that we go through, we get the designs, so you can draw your own if you're artistic, or you can get different images from different places. We then do our preparation on the wood. So a couple of things in terms of, I'm going to cut that one off actually. There we go, 2 seconds, bear with me. Sorry, it's just the tassel is on that one. I'm just going to cut it off so I can use it. Yeah, so we draw it out on the wood, we then prep the wood. And the way we sort of prep the wood, we sand it flat on the back, and then after we've sanded it flat on the back, to make these, we actually make them 2 at a time. So we screw 2 pieces of wood together. So you can see we've screwed those ones together. So what that means is when we actually cut these out, you're getting 2 for the price of 1, basically. So you're doubling the amount that you're getting out of your work. Next thing we do then, we transfer the design onto the wood itself. So I'm just going to bring that camera, I'm just going to zoom that in, just like so. Dad's just pointing out a nice little one that we could have a little look at that one. So what I'm going to do, see, we're going to refocus it, just like so. And I'm going to draw the design onto the wood itself. So simple part of the process, because basically when it comes to scroll sawing, what you're ultimately looking to do, you're basically just following the line. You're cutting along that line. There is a bit more to it than that, but that's what you're ultimately doing, is you're following the line. Some of the other things then before we get started, you always got to bear in mind your health and safety. So when I'm doing this demonstration, I'm going to have the visor on to protect my eyes, and I'm going to have the ear defenders as well. I think we've got a comment on there. Do you want to have a quick check of that? I think it's Yelly. Hopefully she's telling me everything is okay.
All well.
Good. Now, other things then that we've got to do. We've got to select our blade. Now, blade's really important part when it comes to scroll sawing, because you need the right blade for the right job. We get asked a lot of questions about blades. There's a little fly going on. Excuse that. Unusual for the time of year. We said it a number of times, a Nikwa reverse tooth blade, and it's a number 9. And I don't know if we've been telling too many people, because we tried to buy some and they were sold out, didn't they? So we might have caused a bit of a problem for ourselves. But anyway, it's a really good blade, and that's basically for what we're doing. For this sort of thickness of wood, we're still around about an inch, just under an inch of thickness. So for that, it's a really good, basically for that particular purpose. Yeah, I've just noticed what has happened there. No, we seem to be back again. Sorry, just distracted by the screen because something happened there, didn't it?
Yeah.
Everything just went off all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to demonstrate how to cut these shapes out. I'm going to demonstrate the process that we would go through for scroll sawing out these decorations. I'm going to turn that microphone down.
One thing is for as well, Dave.
Yeah.
Mention when you've marked them out, it's going with the grain.
Yeah, the direction of the grain, yeah, we've got vertical, the grain running vertically there. So that's another part with this process. You'll also notice as well, another thing I forgot to mention, I was running around trying to organise this, and that's why I've just done a little bit of a bad job drilling that one out. But I've drilled the holes before. If you're going to have a go at making these yourself, I would suggest drilling the holes first, because you're going to use these to hang on, and they can be quite delicate. And when you drill them, there's a good chance that you'll go and split them. Yeah. So I think...
Two other little things there, Dave. As you've made that hole larger, obviously, I would draw around there with a pencil, so that
we'll scroll saw
you make that much bigger now.
That's right.
So he's a bigger hat.
So well, no, that's the loop above his hat. So we won't make a bigger hat. But what we'll do, we'll make this loop. It's good for you to see, actually, because I made a mistake in the drilling. So what we do, we'll bring a bigger loop right over the top, just like so.
And now same for the angel as well.
And now we'll do an internal cut. So we're almost giving our snowman a little bit of a halo. What I will do with the angel, I'll actually just come a little bit further inside there. That's the problem. I was rushing around to get organised, and that's the sort of little mistakes that you can make. Other things, tension. Make sure that you get the tension correct on your blades. So I'm just looking at that. I'm just going to bring the back of that scroll saw. And another thing, if any of you have the mad idea of doing your own live stream of scroll sawing, make sure you've got a spare blade, because the worst thing you can do is to get halfway through your demonstration and you haven't got a spare blade if it snaps, because it happens. It's very easy. So I got a few notes. Anything I've missed? No. We mentioned cutting to the outside edge of the line. After we finished the scroll sawing, we would then sand it and shellac it. So that's the process that you go through. You can see here quite sort of wispy, those bits there. I think you showed me a star one. Do you want to mark that star on there and just drill the hole? Yeah. Because most of this is a good beginner's project. One of the reasons it's a good beginner's project, there's these ones, there's no pierce work, they call it, where you've got those internal, just another name for those internal cuts. So you're cutting around the outline. So there we go. Let's get I'll make the adjustment on the microphone, and that should reduce, because it's not particularly nice sound. Other things then, with the setup of the scroll saw, I haven't actually bolted this one down because I needed to move it in position. But ideally, with your scroll saw, you would have it bolted to the ground. There we are. We'll get straight into it. So, first thing, I got my dust mask on. And that should be, I should be a lot quieter. I think we just got another comment on there, dude.
Okay, I'll be there now.
There we are. All right. So it'll be a lot quieter, but I'm going to cut out the snowman and we go from there. Put the tension on. There we go. Who's that, sorry? Oh yeah, good to have you with us, Mark. Right. Sorry if that was a bit loud. Yeah, nice to have you with us again, Mark. So, if you're watching, if you're still with us, you might be wondering, why have I stopped? Right, simple reason, we've got, as I said, we've got it screwed all together. If I go and release that, if I go and release our snowman from the rest, from the solid, I know I've got to do this pierce work here. So, I basically got to do it twice. It's laziness on my part. But it's also efficiency. Instead of just going straight through and having to do both snowmen this pierce work together, if I just do that now, it reduces the amount of work that I got to do. So we're always looking for sort of efficiency. How can we be most efficient in the work that we're doing? So in the long run, stopping doing that pierce work and then finishing off the snowman is going to save me time. So you're always thinking of different things like that. So I go back in and we're going to finish off cutting out, well, we're going to do that pierce work and then we're going to cut out the rest of the snowman. There we go. So we just turn that sound down. We put our blade back under tension and turn the machine back on. Right, so we've got that tension back off. We've done that pierce work, and now we're going to finish off our first Christmas decoration. We got another comment on there. Do you want to check it? Okay, have a look.
Fugazi. Evening. Evening.
Good evening all. Okay, so I'll turn that microphone back up. Just like so. So hopefully, yeah, we're back full sound. Yeah, there we are. Now, if I'm being honest, that's not exactly my best scroll saw work there. But we've got our basic shape, our basic outline now. We've got the form that we want for our snowman. What I would actually do from here, as I said, I put it on the sander, I put it on the belt sander, shape it a bit more. We've got a little lip there left, because as I said, that is not exactly my finest work, but it's not far off. And we can finish that off now, and you've got yourself 2 simple little Christmas decorations. These ones here, the next ones we're going to go on to, we've got our angel shape. Main things I'm looking at here, that's quite tight in there, that's quite tight, so we're gonna have a little look at doing that one there. And the other thing as well, we need to keep, we need to work on certain parts first of all, because we've got it screwed together, and sometimes if you release it from where it's screwed in, it's just more difficult to hold it and continue shaping what you're doing with the scroll saw. So let's show you scroll sawing our dove and our angel. You were going to say something?
No, I just got another way of showing them how to mark out.
Brilliant. They're always good to have different techniques.
Paper on there.
I'll just turn this microphone back down because of the machine. And mask back on. And we start cutting again. Seconds, right? We just turned the microphone up. Yeah, no problem at all.
Can you tell me, do the bellows act like suspension? Had lots of vibration and then bellows fell apart.
The bellows fell apart.
So I don't know what machine he's got.
He's got the same. He's got a Hegner Multicut 2S.
Right.
The bellows.
Well, we've never had a problem with the bellows.
No.
So,
I'd be honest. Sorry if we're going off for some of you, but this is important. Yeah. If the bellows is cut, the first thing I would be doing is contacting Hegner UK.
Yeah.
And I would possibly go down the line of I'd have a chat with them, see what they say about it. We've had these machines. This one here is well over 10 years, probably 15 years old. It's the original bellows.
Can they actually see the bellows? No, they can't see the bellows.
Can't quite see the bellows on there, but
you'd have to adjust the camera.
Yeah.
If anybody wants to know.
Never had that problem. I would be in contact with Hegner in the UK.
The bellows are underneath.
And I would possibly suggest you may. I mean, the good thing with these Hegner scroll saws, you can get everything. The spares, the sort of spares with it, you can get everything. So if you've had a problem like that with the machine,
what's the other word he says? Bellows act like suspension.
Right. Again, I'm not sort of. No, I mean, we're not engineers.
If I can explain, all the bellows do. What the bellows do,
right? He's just said on there that the bellows was very brittle.
Right.
Yeah.
It may be old and perished.
Yeah, I would suggest, Mark, that the bellows is what it's doing, because you just saw me there. I just adjusted this pipe. The bellows is blowing the dust.
If you put some dust on there, start it up, and then
Two
you can
seconds.
show. Put some more dust.
Right.
There.
This is mainly my understanding. Somebody else may correct us on this, but
No,
this
that's
is
what it's doing.
my understanding. The bellows does this.
It's clearing the sawdust from the cut, so you can see the line.
Can you see? So the bellows, it blows the dust away. So if you haven't got the bellows and that pipe clearing the dust, then it's more difficult for you to see. And the only way you can sort of clear it is by blowing the dust away.
Yeah.
Problem with that, if you've got a mask on like myself, you've got to keep taking your mask off. So I would be in contact with Hegner UK. More likely than anything, there's probably nothing wrong with the machine. It's either been stored somewhere, it's either an old machine where, as you said, it's perished, or it's been stored where it's deteriorated. Contact Hegner, give them the details of your machine, and they'll give you a quote for a replacement part. So I wouldn't be too worried about it myself.
What are you saying? Yeah, very old bellows, brittle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that's your best bet. And if you go on if you could put on Hegner UK, then put in the details of your machine. There's a whole list of spare parts. Now, whilst we've stopped here as well, you've noticed I cut away one of the screws. I just felt that it'd be fine for us to do that at this stage. I'm going to cut down here and round to there, and then I'm going to come back up there, because we're going to lose that second screw. So when we do our angel, we're only going to have those two screws holding it down. Right, let's get back onto, I'll turn this mic down a little bit, and we'll get back to using the scroll saw. Any other questions as well? Give us a shout. Right.
Is that the dub, is it?
We've got another comment there. Yeah.
Do you want to show this one, Dave, as well?
Yeah, okay. 2 seconds, I'll just turn this mic back up. As I said, as I started explaining before, we were going to have a few little technical things with this one, because I don't want to, the noise of this, it's not the nicest, is it?
It's just Mark saying thank you. Thank you, Mark.
No, you're welcome, Mark. Anybody else as well? Any questions? Let us know, and anything we can help you with, we're always delighted to try and help others out. The other thing you may notice as well as I'm doing this, there's 2 things I just wanted to draw your attention to. One, Dad always says cut to the outside edge. Now I find that's technically right, and he is right in what he's saying, but I find myself, I improvise a little bit.
Yeah, there's no golden rule.
And so sometimes you'll see me going inside the line, and sometimes you see me going outside it. I'm a bad example in some ways, but I improvise a little bit. But at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with what we
would say is cut half the line out.
That's right. But sometimes when you're trying to follow that, sometimes where the machine then is feeding what you're working on through the blade, sometimes it just doesn't work out like that, and you can actually cause yourself a bit of a problem if you're you know, you can have more problems trying to stick religiously to the line. So, you know, you can sort of go in that way. Yeah, Daz brought this one around, so you can see that's a finished one. So Yelly, my wife, she puts a little tag on there, and they're lovely for hanging on the Christmas tree. But in the future now, going forward, if anyone's getting into scroll sawing, doing more scroll sawing, you may think, oh, I might like to sell a few things for a Christmas fair or something like that. These are really great little items, really popular items. We've done other Christmas stuff and other Christmas ideas. Very interesting, actually, that we were the first to do a particular Christmas product. And this year we've noticed there are a lot of copies. So very interesting. I wonder if anybody'd spot it. But if you're wondering who did the original idea, and you might well be able to work it out what item I'm talking about, the original was done by ourselves. So yeah. In terms of the wood then that we're working in, the lighter coloured wood is actually a piece of chestnut. That's taken from an old piece of furniture. And the darker wood then, that is a piece of mahogany. So you can see how you can use different woods, different styles. We've also marked out something else here. I'm not going to show you because Daz got another thing that we'll discuss there that he's done. But this is recycled walnut. If you get a chance to work in walnut, beautiful. Beautiful for carving, beautiful for working in general. And that's reclaimed from some old furniture. You can just see the edge, whether it was a table or something like that. There we are. I'm going to go turn that mic down again, and I'll carry on. I'll cut out that angel shape. There we go. You might notice I've gone quiet again, and I'll just go through cutting out the angel. Okay, so that's showing you how we cut out some different shapes. You'll see there's all sorts of little techniques, almost little tricks that we use, because I'm conscious that, for instance, we don't want to go and cut out certain things because we've got those two pieces of wood screwed together, and if I hadn't have come back over this, excuse me, then I would have had to have done those individually. In the sort of greater scheme of things, you're only really talking about a couple of minutes extra work. But if you did 1,000 of these and you spend 2 minutes on extra on each one, it's 2,000 minutes. It's a lot of time. So that's how we do those ones there. And you can see little tassel like that one there, and you've got an angel for hanging on the Christmas tree. So that's the idea of this, is a Christmas themed. But so far in this demonstration, we've got those two, and we've got our 2 snowmen. We've made a few little mistakes and then showed you techniques for how we correct it, how we get over it. So that's the sort of thing that you can do. Another little technique then, another thing that Dad has done here, just as we've been doing it. Now with the start, this is a different technique you can use for sticking down. He's cut out a paper drawing and then he's glued it onto the wood itself. So it's another technique that you can use for sort of marking out. Have we got a drill there as well? Because I think we're not going to demonstrate all of these, but what I will demonstrate, what I will demonstrate is the pierce work on this star. So that'll probably be our final demonstration, is to just demonstrate. I know we've got a few others. While Steve's drilling that out, I tell you what I'll do. I'll go and cut out the bell on there. Just notice another comment on there. Oh, we got a hello there from Ober. Hello there. Hello everyone. Thank you for joining us. Hope you're enjoying. Hope it's useful. Any questions, get them in and we'll do our best to answer them. But I'm just going to cut out that bell shape for you to see. Oh, you got the drill?
Yep.
Oh, there we are. I'll go straight on to demonstrating that star. Right, what we'll do...
Piece of wood.
Yeah, piece of wood.
Underneath the log.
There we are. I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hand it to Dad, because I don't want to go and drill it.
Going to cut out? This.
It's the pierce work on that one there. Yeah, that's what I'm going to demonstrate. So while Steve's drilling that one out, I'll get us ready for our next demonstration. Yeah, any questions? Anything you want to know about scroll drawing, the machines, give us a shout. Okay, we put that across. Yeah, brilliant. So.
Oh dear, I should have sanded it. I should have put that down flat. Yeah, just sand it on the back here.
All it is, you sand that flat on the back. There we are. Yeah, no problem. There we are. That's the mask we're using. They I don't know how well you can hear me, but they don't actually make these any longer. It's a trend mask, but they don't actually make them any longer. They've discontinued them.
Apparently.
Okay, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to turn the microphone up. Right, I stopped there and I turned the microphone up. Was there another comment on this? No, there's yeah, it's a trend mask. It is, Mark. They've actually discontinued them. They sell them like that, and the problem is you can't get the filters for them. But it's really good because you've got that visor on it, and you need something protecting your eyes. Okay, the reason I stopped here, we're going to feature this particular thing on another video. I've stopped here because there's a bit of wood, and it's stuck in the bottom of here, and it's slowing me down. So this is a little trick that we use. What do you do in terms of, like, I've had to stop it, I still can't get the piece of wood out. So there's a method that we use that can help you to avoid this problem. And that's because we've got a decent sized piece of wood. If it's a very small piece of wood, it doesn't work. As I said, we've got this featured in a video coming up. If you take that plate out, take that out, what happens, these bits of wood, instead of them staying on the plate and getting on your nerves as a scroll sawer and wasting your time, take that plate out and they'll drop down the hole. Saves you a lot of time, saves you a lot of frustration. There we are. So it's a useful little one, and you'll see now that I haven't got that frustration because it's annoying because it slows you down in the work you're trying to do. Right, we turn that mic down 2 seconds.
And Jerry's Bucket would like to know, how did you modify the quick release knob? It looks easier to use.
Hola Miguel, ¿cómo estás? Español es mi segundo idioma, pero muchas gracias para venir. Y sí, yo creo es una demostración, es posible, buenas ideas. The advantage here of having a Spanish wife is it's great if we can share a little bit as well with the Spanish audience. It's something that interested in doing actually is to bring that into what we're doing is demonstrations in Spanish as well. En el futuro yo quiero hacer más vídeos en castellano y sí compartir mis ideas y las cosas haciendo. The other message as well, sorry, with the adaptation here.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, what we've done, the adaptation that we've made on this one, as you can see, basically there's an advantage and there's a disadvantage, and I'll explain it too. What we've done on the quick release, we've added this knob here. It just fits. We've added that strand. It fits in the hand better. Fits in the hand a lot easier. So you put that blade in. You know, it's just a lot easier. It just, I think, because our hands are a bit bigger, it just fits for ourselves. So you tighten it up just like so, and there you go.
It's something Hegner may do at one stage, I don't know.
Right, there is a downside to it because either side of the tension, there are these two little, what would you call them? They're two little washers really, aren't they?
Yeah, grommets almost.
Yeah, and I have a problem because I find they're like a cheese grater, and every now and then I forget and I run my hand across there and it slices my thumb, so it can cause a little bit of injury as well. So there are advantages and there are disadvantages. Now, for those of you who are watching very closely, you may have noticed that I went back and forth, and the reason for that is because you get little saw lines, and I'd rather just get them out, sort it out, because the finish is so good. I'm looking in here, afterwards I'll have to go back on there and tidy it up.
There's one other thing, Dave, if you just take the blade out just to check that it is still sharp.
Right.
Because it may have turned colour and that may not be helping.
No, I think we're okay.
You're okay.
Because what it is, you'll see on the blade, you'll see a little blue. I'm not sure if you've got a few more comments on there. If you could have a check for me, you get it sort of turns blue in colour, and when it turns like that, yeah, it definitely doesn't perform anywhere near its best. So that all makes a difference. The other thing as well, I notice. Sometimes when I'm scroll sawing, yeah, you may be able to see that one there. Daz just brought out. That's got the blue line on it. So once it's burnt like that, it's not so good. It's not so good for us to use. Yeah, one thing that I notice sometimes when I'm working with the Hegner, to cut a straight line, I don't always, because this basically to cut a straight line, you should just go straight through like so. But I do find on, and I don't know whether you find this as well, Dan, but quite often to cut a straight line, I have to sort of go at a slightly different angle. But it's basically, I let the blades do the work for me. You know, don't try and force it. Do what the machine is sort of guiding you to do. Did somebody else have a question there?
No, you're okay.
No. Y también hay gente buscando en castellano y español, lo siento, porque es Sudamérica, y quieres yo hacer vídeos en español también. Tú pone, escribe un mensaje y sí, yo hacer este vídeos. There we are, yeah, and any questions, any comments?
That was the one, Appiendo.
Get them into us. Appiendo de...
D.T. Thomas.
There we are. Right, so we're going to finish off.
Hello from Canada. I assume you have two pieces secured together to make duplicates in one go.
That's correct. Yes. Spot on. Saves time.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
Well, that was the one.
Yeah.
Canada.
Who?
Oggy Bobo. And he says, I find the same thing with my DeWalt. It doesn't seem that it cuts in a straight line. I thought I was going crazy.
It's just to cut a straight line. Sometimes you have to do what the machine's telling you, not what. Yeah. Right, so we've stopped again.
Just say thanks to Jerry Puckett
Oh yeah, hello there.
and Craig Nardi as well.
Hello all.
Yeah, he's got a Polymax 3.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah.
he doesn't have the same tension release.
Right. See, because this is the thing, there's all sorts of advantages and disadvantages. Oh, that's good. One of the screws has just fallen out. There's all sorts of advantages and disadvantages of the different machines. You know, the Hegner, I'd recommend it to anybody. I've got no association with Hegner, but yeah, I would recommend it to everyone. For anyone wondering as well why I stopped there is because what I want to do, I want to sort of, to finish this off, to release this one from the solid, I want to go down this direction here, back there, and that way. So that's why I've stopped now, is, again, it's being lazy. I don't want to have to cut it out twice. So being lazy, I'm going to, you know, cut it that way and then go round that way.
There's another one at the end, minute. 1 second.
Yeah, so what I'll do is, that's just coming back. Well, you've got the idea where, yeah,
Another little point.
Where you've got some tape.
Yeah, if we
You can tape it together. That's
put
the other thing you can
tape
do.
on there like so,
Yeah.
and then we'll
Yeah, another technique we've used is to tape it all together. So as you lose the screw,
clear sellotape.
yeah, that's where people are looking.
There we are.
You've got the clear sellotape,
Okay.
and that's it, isn't it? Right,
So that's just another way,
yeah.
you know.
I'll turn the volume back down, and I will finish off this decoration.
Okay, some people might say it's going to blunt the machine with the sellotape, but it's small. It's a tiny little thing, like, you know.
sure if you want to check if there's any other comments.
No, you're okay.
Right. There we are. Just turn this microphone back up again. Okay, so yeah, the problem I'm having now is the sellotape.
That's typical. You're gonna blame me now.
I'm going to blame. Yeah, I'm going to blame.
That's typical. So you're gonna blame. I'm gonna have to blame.
The problem.
Dad
It does-
messed it up.
It does work, the sellotape, but it just the one drawback of it is that it is a little bit more difficult to see. There we are. That's one released. There we go. So that's that one there. That's the top one. Interestingly as well, you know, because when we do things like this, you're thinking about it yourself. You're thinking about the things you're doing. One thing you sort of do. As you're going along, it's not an exact science what we're doing, and there's a lot of improvisation with it, because for instance I'm covering up little mistakes as I go, and I mean, if I'm going to be critical of this, and it won't make any difference once they're on the Christmas tree and things like that. But for instance, I've gone a bit narrow there. Excuse me, so I would ideally prefer if that was a little bit thicker, a bit stronger. So if I was going to be critical, I'd say that with it. But it'll do the job. We've got that grain running in that direction. It'll be strong enough, unless somebody really damages it.
What have you done with the shooting star there? I've lost it.
I've just noticed actually that I didn't cut the tail out. I'll be honest with you, I was struggling to see it properly.
There it is.
So I just cut that last little bit. There you go. That's
There's
the
the
shooting
finish.
star. But you'll notice I've missed that one out.
So you're gonna put, you'll need that now, won't you?
What's that?
You'll need that in there now.
I think I'm just about. What do you reckon?
I wouldn't do it.
No,
Good
okay.
tip, yeah.
There we are. Right. Do you want to prepare? I think we'll do one more. Yeah, just tidying up just the back end of it. So there we go.
Last
That's
one,
another
then.
2 decorations.
The bell there.
I think the last one we'll have a look at then. Nice easy one to finish off. Famous last words, because I'll probably go and mess this one up. I think there's a few more comments on there.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to have a go at doing the bell.
Right, the camera's a little out of focus.
We're a bit out of focus, are we? Thank you for telling us. I'll refocus it now. Let's have a look. Right. Hopefully that will bring us back into focus.
Bit fuzzy maybe.
Hopefully that will bring us back into focus. Please tell us if it doesn't.
The lens is probably covered in dust there. Another idea as well, Dave, with the bell, you could do it like that. You could take the centre out.
So yeah, you can see that one there. Another way of doing it, where you can cut, you can do the pierce work to cut the inside, but a nice sort of simple shape, and that's another 2 decorations. So I think what we do, you can see we did have it lined up as well for a star and a sort of candle design as well. But if we get everything together, then what have we made? Let's have a look. What have we made there all together in that demonstration? There we go. So we got the 2 bells, we got the angel, we got 2 doves, there's another angel, the 2 snowmen, and then our 2 shooting stars. So that's just a little Christmas demonstration. Thank you for all joining us. We really appreciate that. Remember, keep those comments in, keep them coming in. Other little pointers then as well. This bellows on our other machine is a newer machine. Thing is with this one, we can move this one about. As I said, ideally, the other one is clamped to the floor, so it's actually a better machine to work with. But this one is easier for filming. We've sort of made it. We've made the bench specifically for filming. And the reason I mention it is because the hose on this one, I actually prefer the other one. It's the newer type, the purple type of hose on the Hegner Multicut 2S.
Slightly more flexible, isn't it?
It gives you a little bit more flexibility. It's a bit easier. As this one, you have to fiddle around with it a bit. But I know there's all sorts of different machines, and all of these sort of techniques you can use on all the different machines, and they've all sort of got their own strengths and weaknesses. The Hegner, as I said, I do, we've always enjoyed working with it. I think that pretty much wraps everything up. Any questions or any comments as well, put it on any of our videos. We're always more than happy to try and help out. As always, we'll be back again soon with more videos. But thank you all again for watching. There we are. You're going to sing us out, Thomas?
Oh no, that'll frighten everybody off.